Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Dr. Hasi is here. Today's topic is Module 3 of Bio 1011 Lab, Bio General Biology 2 1011 Lab, and we are going to cover labs number 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So lab 10 is Porifera Cnidaria. So we have two phylum. And then lab 11, Platyhelminthes. Lab 12, we have phylum Nematode. Lab 13, we have phylum Annelid. And lab 14, Mollusc. So let's get started. I also want to point out that every lab, like as always in the Bio 2 lab, study well in advance. Break up your material into the small chunks. Each phylum, remember, we covering 32 phylums in altogether in the lab. So, and 5, 6 of them are here. These are all Animalia. So let's talk about kingdom Animalia a little bit, since these phylums are all Animalia. So kingdom Animalia has 36 phylum altogether, but there are 9 major phylums that we cover in the 1011 lab. So these are the first 6 of those phylums. They go from a simplest structure to the more and most complex structure. So all Animalia in all phylums, they are multicellular and they are heterotrophic, right? So that means they are consumers. So there are also clades, which is like bigger than phylum, like under the kingdom, like you can call them sub-kingdom. So like clade, C-L-A-D. This is the sub-kingdom. So first sub-kingdom is Metazoa. Basically, you already know that Metazoa is actually Porifera, Cnidaria, and Platyhelminthes. So these 3 labs are actually 3 phylums are Metazoa subkingdom. And then they come from an ancestral protist background. And then the rest of the phylums, they come from Eumetazoa. So nematode, mollusks in this module 3, but after that, and also annelid, arthropods, echinodermata, and chordate. These are all Eumetazoa. So this is also subkingdom. So kingdom Animalia, first subkingdom is Metazoa, phylum Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes. So these are the simplest group of animals. Something about a little information about each of these phylums. So Porifera, there is no body cavity in Porifera. There is no tissues. Some examples of always in every phylum, remember if there is any class, what's the class name, and if there is any representative species. So these are called sponges, Porifera. So, and they are not closely related to any animals. So subkingdom is Parazoa and Metazoa, and under that Parazoa, and they have no symmetry. So remember, we either have no symmetry or symmetry that's actually radial, like flower, you can cut it like flower, or bilateral, which we see more advanced animals. Their symmetry is you can cut it laterally, and there's a right side and there's a left side, right? So Porifera has none of these. They are non-symmetry. They are basal, no tree tissues, not closely related to any other animals. They are simplest animals. They are sessile. That means they are attached to a substrate, and they like more like plants. So in terms of they don't move much. Okay, Porifera. So we have 3 classes in Porifera phylum, which are Calcarea. A good example again is Granita, which is Grantia is the species that under Calcarea. And there is a class called Hexacinedella, and that Euplectella is the species, like look like a glass sponge. And then Class number 3 is demo sponges. They are like what we know, a lot of regular sponges like commercial sponge, boring sponge, sheep wool sponge. They are under class number 3. There are 8,500 species actually listed under Porifera. This is this is first phylum, Porifera. Again, no body cavity, no tissues. Granita is a good example. Phylum number 2 is Cnidaria, which you can see here. That's also part of lab number 10. Cnidaria has actually a little more complex and has actually symmetry, radial symmetry, like flowers. Okay, so Cnidaria has also 3 classes: Hydrozoa, Scyphozoa, Anthozoa, Hydra, sea jellies, and corals. So in this under Cnidaria phylum. And there are 2 types of body type, polyp and medusa. So polyp is more like the open like a flower, and medusa is like upside down. So 2 body types like we see in maybe jellyfish and some other animals in this under this group. What else about Cnidaria? They have radial symmetry, no body cavity, organization. They have true tissues, unlike previous group, previous phylum. 2 layers of characters. They have 2 layers. Polyp, medusa, we already talked about. They have mouth. And then examples are hydra, jellyfish, sea anemone, and corals. This is Cnidaria. Next phylum is Platyhelminthes. This is the last phylum in Metazoa subkingdom. Remember, so Platyhelminthes is actually, they are also called flatworms. So what's so special about flatworms? They also have symmetry, like bilateral symmetry. They have 3 classes: Turbellaria, Trematoda, and Cestada. There are some parasitic species here you need to study until Platyhelminthes. So they cause diseases in other vertebrates. So Turbellaria, so Platyhelminthes, so they have more advanced level symmetry, bilateral, right? Also body cavity most of the time absent. Development is protostome, and segmentation is also absent. These are called flatworms. Planaria, flukes, and tapeworms are some representative species under Platyhelminthes phylum. So make sure you study each of these species. They are listed in your PowerPoint, like Tyanea, which is dog tapeworm, important one. There are blood flukes under Trematoda. They infest vertebrates. And then Dugesia, which is also called Planaria. This is a species under Turbellaria, out of 3,000 other species. So that's lab 11. Lab 12 was nematodes. So what's so special about nematodes? So nematode is actually next subkingdom, which is under Eumetazoa, Eumetazoa. Okay, so what and some more information about nematodes. Nematodes are really interesting phylum. Again, they are Eumetazoa. They have bilateral symmetry. Okay, so you can see they're going more and more advanced levels. Eumetazoa is bilateral. They have organ systems now, and no segmentation. So nematodes are also called round worms. And then so they have no cilia, and they live in the soil or in animals as a parasite. A good example of a nematode is Ascaris. So this is lab number 12. Of course, always remember C. elegans is the most well-known model nematode animal, C. elegans. And what's so special about it? It's also called ultimate survivor. Maybe by chance, actually, it survived from the actually explosion of a space shuttle. That's actually everything was destroyed, but actually C. elegans survived from the shuttle explosion. So these are round worms. Ascaris is another model. Again, you should study, and it's found sometime in human small intestines, and it can infest human intestines. Okay, so that's nematodes. Annelid is lab number 13. This is also Eumetazoa annelid. These are segmented worms. Now we move to segmented worms. So annelid, what else about it? They are bilateral symmetry. Their body cavity is columnate. They have organ systems. They are protozomes. They are segmented. They have complete digestive system. And some examples: nereis, earthworms, leeches. Okay, so these are some examples of annelid species. So annelids, like earthworms, for example, class Olichiceda, leeches like Hirudania, or tube worms like Polycheda, and there are different types that you should study under these tube worms. And then it's also called earthworms. This is lab number 13. And lab number 14, which is actually second biggest phylum, which is mollusks. They are pretty advanced animal groups. There are 6 classes, and some of the species known for finding pearls inside them. So these are mollusks. They have bilateral symmetry. They have true body cavity. They have organ systems. They are protozomes. They can be soft-bodied and with complete digestive system. They have head, foot, and other parts. Snails, oysters, squids, and octopus. Make sure check each of these individual species. So this is under lab number 14. So what else? And again, oyster, snail, squid, and octopus are the species that represent the species. So look at each 6 classes. And the pearls can be found in the oysters or mussels, but not all oysters and mussels have it. Some, or it could be cultivated in seed of the mantle placed in the mussel. That's also done. So make sure you check the classes and genus like Catarina, which is a genus actually found under class Polyplophora. So make sure you look at some anatomy like clam anatomy, and always check the specimen in the lab. So all the specimens are available in the lab for you. Actually, they are there to study. So if you're missing any, check that. Check your PowerPoint slides and your notes from the lab, and then restudy each of these phylum. What kingdom, what subkingdom, what kingdom, what subkingdom, what phylum, what are the type of symmetry they have, and some other organ systems, and some basic interesting facts. If they are parasitic, what disease they are causing. So to basically just to recap, always check the structure and anatomy, and then also remember the specimens, what they look like, and then learn about some descriptions of each of the species and representative species. So, and thanks for watching. And if you can always reach me by inboxing me, and please feel free to comment and like and subscribe. So, and I will see you in next video. Happy studying.